Finding their voice, raising awareness of spasmodic dysphonia and the role of SLPs. What if your voice stopped working, but your mind was perfectly fine? Let's take a look at an example of spasmodic dysphonia by one of our current leaders, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., speaking briefly about his voice condition.
I had a very, very strong voice till I was 46 years old. It was unusually strong, and even at that time, I was making a lot of my income doing public speaking, and I could speak to large halls without any amplification. And then in 1996, when I was 42 years old, I got struck with a disease, a neurological disease, an injury called spasmodic dystonia, and it makes my voice tremble. And I actually, at the time, I didn't know what was wrong with it, but when I would go on TV, people would write me letters and say, "You have spasmodic dystonia, and you should see Dr. Blitzer, who is the physician who was most famous for treating it." And I ultimately went to see him, and he confirmed that I had the diagnosis. So I think it makes it problematical for people to listen to me. I cannot listen to myself on TV. I will never listen to this broadcast, and I won't listen to any. So I feel sorry for you guys having to listen to me.
All right.
But I'll say one other thing, that my throat was much worse, and I went to Japan with Cheryl about 6 months ago and had a novel surgery that they only do in Kyoto. And it made my voice much better, which you probably won't believe, but it was much worse than this before. So.
Thank you for watching.
Spasmodic dysphonia is a rare voice disorder that causes the vocal cords to spasm, making these spasms disrupt the ability to produce a smooth, steady voice, often resulting in speech that sounds strained, strangled, or breathy. Spasmodic dysphonia is a neurological, not psychological, and most people don't know it exists, which is why it's so important to bring awareness to light. There are two main types of spasmodic dysphonia as seen in this picture. Adductor spasmodic dysphonia, the picture on the right, is where the vocal folds involuntarily slam together, creating a strangled voice quality. Abductor spasmodic dysphonia, the picture shown on the left, is where the vocal folds involuntarily open, causing a breathy, weak voice. And we also see mixed spasmodic dysphonia, not shown here, where both types of spasms are present. There are common misconceptions where we see the public have about spasmodic dysphonia. When listening to someone have a voice disorder, most people believe they're just anxious or shy, they must have a cognitive problem, and that nothing can help them. SLPs have a big role in treating voice disorders, specifically spasmodic dysphonia. SLPs assess, support, and advocate. We work closely with ENTs, provide voice therapy, and help clients regain trust in their voice. SLPs can identify symptoms and patterns consistent with spasmodic dysphonia, while also conducting detailed evaluations that include perceptual, acoustic, and aerodynamic measures. Spasmodic dysphonia is often misunderstood, but we can change that. By raising awareness, addressing misconceptions, and advocating for access to therapy, we can help those affected reclaim their voice and confidence. It all starts with education. When the public understands spasmodic dysphonia, they can respond with empathy instead of judgment. Let's be kinder, more informed, and more supportive. Together, we can ensure that no voice goes unheard and everyone deserves to be heard.